Hey y'all. Healing isn't always soft. Sometimes it stretches you so far that the room you once fit in can't hold you anymore. This episode unpacks the loneliness, the confusion, and the quiet strength that comes with outgrowing people, places, and versions of yourself you've once called home. It's about realizing that healing doesn't just change your heart, it changes your environment. And not everyone is meant to follow you into your next level. Okay? When you start healing, you won't just change, you'll outgrow. Outgrow the room, outgrow the patterns, outgrow the people who were comfortable with your brokenness. Don't confuse losing them with losing yourself. Sometimes healing removes what can't go where you're going, okay? And I really felt that, and I really felt now was the time to speak on this because I really feel like this is what me personally, like what I'm going through. It's like nothing makes sense. And I'm just like, wait a minute, like what's going on? And then, mind you, you do feel bad when you're like, but wait a minute, we've been here for so long. It's okay. If I keep talking, like maybe it'll make sense so we can move on together. Like what we say, mind you, this can fall into any and every category in terms of relationship, family, friendships, it doesn't matter. But I've been thinking if you have to take the time out and sit here and try so hard where it becomes forcefulness in terms of like controlling, trying to be like, but wait, we're supposed to do this together. It's me and you. We have to move together. No, 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 no. For the longest, I've thought like that, but everyone cannot go where you're going, okay? Your growth may be overpowering where they're comfortable and remaining, and that's fine. And we have to stop pushing people. You can't push someone to be in a place and a version that they're not ready for. Because if they were ready for it, they would be it. That's it. And it took me a while because a lot of people sit here talking about so you being funny money, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hear from you, I don't see you. Well, you got to understand when you take that time to sit here and grow, you are going to lose a lot of people. Okay. Ain't nobody gonna tell you, I'm gonna tell you. That's just what it is. I find so much comfort sitting here in my home where I'm watching TV, I'm sitting here reading my Bible and I'm okay with that. But I was speaking with someone else and she actually let me know that in terms of, when you get so comfortable with being with you, like that's loneliness. And I didn't know this. So it's news to me and it does make sense. When all you care about is just being with you and you're really not entertaining anything else, any other people, it's just you by yourself in your room. That could be very dangerous because she said when you're by yourself and you just want to get everything done by yourself, that's when the enemy attacks, where all of these anxiety attacks come from and where the doubt comes from and everything. It's okay, if you're on a different path, that's cool. That means you're trying to venture into something else. Just don't be like me. And I'm about to give me some hobbies, but don't just sit here and keep it to yourself and, I'll figure it out. Yeah, you could figure it out for the time being, but don't make it seem like all you have is you. Because being so wrapped up in you, what I'm realizing for myself could be a part of a downfall in a sense because it's like, wow, I really don't have anyone and this and that. Then you got to think about it, like, hey, you done shut everybody out. But I understand why you shut everyone out because if you're following down the straight road and all your other people and all that, they want to stop off at the corner store. They want to go to the right, go to the left. But your mindset is no, I'm just keeping straight. But You don't want to be alone. So you're like, it's fine. I'll go for the ride. Do you not know that that's a distraction? And it's not even by them. You know it's a distraction, but you're okay with it because you would rather be with a crowd than be by yourself. Be by yourself until you get with the right crowd, you know? And healing is one thing. I wouldn't want you to isolate yourself because you're like, you know what? I can't find anyone that's on the same path of me, same path as me, but they've been here since day one. And that's nice. I'm not saying, hey, shut them off. It is what it is. No, it's not that. It's just like, hey, I have love for you. I'm always have love for you. But I'm starting to see that we're on two different paths. And I wouldn't want to combine what we both have going on because you will never go straight with me. You want to keep stopping off at the store and going down the street and all that, but my mind is going forward. And it's not, like make them feel like you ain't on my level. It's none of that. Because I would never want any of us to think that we're better than anyone else out here because we're not. We're just on two different paths, and that's okay. And I realized within myself that I stay in places because I do feel bad. And it's just like, but wait, I wouldn't want them to think that I'm trying to be better or this and that. And it's none of that. It's just where my mind is going for finally, for one point in my life, I do not want to look backwards. You know what I'm saying? Because it's kind of like when you think about it, it's like, oh, okay, if I do go back, maybe things will change. You got to stop living your life on maybe. No, if it was meant, it would have been. Stop trying to force things. Forcing things that, if you take your time out and you pray, you connect with Jesus, and then you're given the opportunity to be right there with God. And if He's letting you know this ain't it, and you still trying to do it anyway, it's not gonna work, okay? It's not gonna work, mind you. I only speak about things that I've been through, and I'm telling you, once you hear from God and He tells you exactly no, and you still do it your way, not only is it not gonna work, it's going to set you back. It's okay. Take that time out. Be by yourself until you get in the right place to where you're understanding why things happen the way they did. In that moment, it hurt. You didn't know what was going on. But when you take the time out, keep breathing, stay connected, you'll understand and you'll see why. When things close, when these doors close, when opportunities close, that is nothing but protection. In the moment, we won't look at it as protection, but it is because we don't know what could have happened if we really followed through with everything. That's why I look at things in a different light. And I do have some affirmations for us. I will not shrink to make anyone comfortable. If I lose people while healing, I gained myself. Outgrowing is not betrayal. It's alignment, okay? When you sit here and you outgrow environments, you outgrow situations, it's okay. Mind you, you might be by yourself for a little bit, but it's fine. It's okay. Just don't stay by yourself though. When I learned what I told y'all, staying by yourself, to get you in order, that's one thing. But I wouldn't want you to think like I'm chilling, I'm alone. And I'm not saying in terms of relationship, I'm talking about friendships. You wouldn't, well, it could be relationships too. You just like, hey, I want to find my person. Agreed. I'm with you. But when you out here looking for your person, you out here looking for friendship, make sure that what they got going on their end, it aligns with what you have going on. Because don't go back into that mindset like, oh, okay, I have people now. I'm okay. No, make sure it aligns because every comfort is not good comfort. Okay. Some people like just being here because they want someone too. And it's just like, hey, I don't have a group. You don't have a group. Maybe we can be each other's person. Yeah, but how is your mind? You know what I'm saying? Like, how are you in terms of what you got going on. Does that align with what I have going on? Mind you, you're not going to come across a group of people, a person that you guys are going to go hand in hand on everything. Because I don't know, for me personally, I wouldn't look at it like that because I'll be like, this is too good to be true. It took me a good little minute to get out of that. You try and set me up. But I'm growing. Okay. I'm growing. I just know for a fact with anything that you work on, you and this other person or your group of people will never agree on everything one on one. There are no two people that have the same mind. You might think it's bright and I'm telling you it's low. But if we sit here and talk about it, maybe we can understand what are we seeing from our ends. Why do you think is that? And I'm going to tell you why I think is mine. So what can we do together? That's why a lot of people don't like to hear communication is everything. All right. It is everything. But I really wanted to come on here because this is something that I'm really struggling with, and it's like outgrowing. During my journey right now, I've outgrown a lot of things, a lot of situations, a lot of people, and it really does make me feel bad. But I'm starting to understand, like, you don't have to feel bad because whatever you lose, you've gained within yourself. Or, if you sit here and you read your Bible, you've gained a stronger connection with Jesus Christ. And I'm okay with that, but you just can't stay in that. Find a hobby to do, you know what I'm saying? Get something done that aligns with what you're doing in life. But yeah, that was the main goal to really come on here because outgrowing is scary. It's scary, but it's needed. Because if you're not outgrowing bad behavior, how are you supposed to become the version of you that you should have been all along? Well, I'm not even going to say that you should have been. Because if you would have been the best version of you, you would have never saw the the bad parts of yourself. Once you're able to sit here and be like, you know what, those were some really bad traits of mine. Like that should have never happened, but I'm glad it did happen because if it didn't, I wouldn't be here now. Like I always tell ya, I appreciate the storms. I be crying and all that, but it's okay. I like looking at certain situations that I put myself in so I can look back and be like, wait a minute, I'm not going to do that again. I know what happened last time. I know what not to do going forward. You know, that's why when everyone's like, I wish I never, no, go through it. So you know how to move in life, what not to do, and what to start doing. And it's okay outgrowing people. Mind you, I'm still going through this, but it's going to be okay. If you're like seriously trying to find you, this has to happen. You didn't do anything, or even sit there and think about it and be like, wait a minute, was this something that I did? Or, try and piece it together like that. But never stay in anything you have going on when people make you feel like you're bad for wanting more. They sit here and say, you doing too much. Why are you just not okay with what you have? No, because you're confusing why am I not okay with what I have with me wanting more in terms of needs, in terms of, like, I do not have a need of, money in terms of I don't know when's the next time I'm going to eat, or I don't know where I'm laying my head. No, I will never not be humbled in terms of God allowing me and, giving me another day, allowing me to never have to want for my next meal or a place to sleep. That's fine. I am grateful for that for the rest of my life, but never allow someone to make you feel bad for wanting more, because I am here now and God's allowed me to become who I am for what I have, what I needed at that time. But I feel like he is brewing a better version of me. And with that new version of me, I want more. And if you are not okay with being with me on this journey of wanting more, and if you do have someone, if you have a group of people, it's just like, yo, let's have a conversation because I've been feeling like this and that. And I feel like this has happened, or, maybe we need to change in terms of this so things can look better for us. And if they ain't with it, you gotta let it go. Okay? You gotta let it go. Outgrowing is absolutely so needed to become the best version of you. And it's okay. If you sit here and freak out, it's all right. Open your Bible, pray about it real quick, and everything's going to be okay. Listen to those affirmations. I will not shrink to make anyone comfortable. If I lose people while healing, I gained myself. Outgrowing is not betrayal. It's alignment, okay? Every time y'all feel like that, listen to those three affirmations and make it do what it do, okay? Alrighty, y'all. I hope y'all have a nice day and I will speak to y'all next week.